Right. Before each match, both teams will stand back next to their goals, and then play rules will start, and they'll run to the middle and gather the balls like you might for a dodgeball match. All right. Teams taking their stances here. Ref asking both teams if they're ready. It's customary for teams to do this. And now the snitch will be released. He'll kick a couple of the balls, causing mayhem really. People have to, of course, put their heads down for this. They're not allowed to look. And so teams will run up, get balls. Right now Webster has the quaffle. They're running around the back of the goal. Right now Jake Dawson in control, number 69. And that shot, I believe, was a goal. Yes, was a goal. In fact, that's for Riley Nygren. And she actually is one of Missouri's players, but for this game she will be playing with Missouri, as we said. Of course, some of the players for Missouri, as we said, will be playing for Webster here.
Exactly. That's what we were talking about earlier. That the other teams playing against their own team should be interesting. Some little.
So yeah, Missouri, like I said, approaching it. Missouri in black, approaching it like a spring game. That's why a couple of the yellow players have MIZ in their shirts. Andrew with the quaffle.
You can see there, William, that it's tough to catch this ball, especially without gloves. I mean, just passing it around there.
As Missouri streaks upfield, nice goal, almost, and a nice easy pass and score for Missouri.
So nice passing on that play, set up that play.
50-20. Sika running across the field, following the snitch. This game could come to a stop here soon.
You can see he has a yellow sock in his left pocket, sort of like flag football.
He's going to be bounded by the fence here, and yes. We'll keep you posted there, because obviously that's the most important part of this match. Missouri Sika. Oh right, he's found himself kind of trapped. That's still in progress as Missouri here, still with the ball, and that's another goal for Ryan Tomarina, and he's a sophomore for Missouri.
30 points.
He'll score again. 30 points for Missouri, in addition to the 10. It was a dominating match, 90-20, coming out and beating the team. But like we said, it's a spring game. They're coming. Season kind of, they're halfway through the season, but
it's more like Missouri's football scrimmage last week.
It really is
preparing for the season.
Exactly. So we don't want to say preparing for the season because they had some games in the season. The season obviously coming to a close here soon. But in some aspects, both teams trying to learn, and that's one of the things we want to really talk about here with Quidditch. Is it's not a massive sport, No, we have, I'd say, about 20 people out here watching, and then more from College Avenue, the dormitories, and obviously Hatch as well. So people watching.
I think that number's going to go up, though. I mean, the sport's only been around for, 5 years, and, you think about basketball or football, none of those sports were really popular when it started out. This is a growing sport.
Right.
Now, I think what?
Now will Quidditch become to the levels of football and basketball?
You never know.
I don't think so. But maybe. And one of the things we want to point out is the sport is often confused with the Harry Potter sport. It's not the same. These aren't people who think they're part of a Harry Potter game. These people performing in a sport that's actually involves a lot of athleticism, as we saw the snitch and the sneakers.
You got to be quick. You got to be around.
Yeah, you just
escape defenders.
It's very physical. It's an intense game. It's co-ed, so everybody can be involved. It's a sport that I think a lot of people enjoy playing, and as long as it stays this fun sport, more and more people will join up. And I believe the fact that it's an enjoyable sport to play. I mean, even I want to get out there occasionally. The fact that it is a fun sport to play, I think will help them and eventually lead to a lot of players and a larger following. So thank you for the IQA and Missouri for helping us. We'll take a break and come back with the second match in just a bit. There's Dawson, the ball. He'll spin around and jumps, jukes, and score.
That's a nice move by number 20.
0 lead for Missouri. Yes, that's Dawson. Jake Dawson, a sophomore from Missouri. He's a beater and a chaser. His skills, as he says, include his charm, not to be confused with Harry Potter, but he says his Jimmer shooting ability is his other ability.
You saw that there, that shot.
Shooting from far away. He's Missouri's leading scorer. In a common match, he'll score 60 points in a match. It's it's not uncommon for him. A little bit about is Dawson with the assist and alley-oop. That'll be scored easily by Missouri. That's number 31 for Missouri, the freshman chaser, Jeremy Hyatt. His speed is his.
And the chasers are sort of like the forwards, and soccer, they go ahead and they're the primary scorers for the team.
Jake Dawson will pick it up on the fly.
2-on-1 fast break, and
that's too easy for him. You know, 60 points a game.
Yeah.
That's another point for him. And now Missouri with the 30-0 advantage, and early on in the match, I've been calling Andrew Crawford Jake Dawson for a large portion of this match, I just realized. So I apologize to
QA, which is the non-profit organization, you know, they're not affiliated with J.K. Rowling or Warner Brothers or any of that stuff. And this game started in Middlebury College, which is in Vermont, by a man named Xander Mantrell. So, you know, that's when it started. And he said they used to use swisher mops for brooms back in the day. They used to wear graduation robes, you know, just crazy things just because that was how they were getting started. They didn't have many funds. But ever since then, you know, it's developed tremendously. 12 countries
big
playing.
Hit there. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
Mahir, but Travis, big hit, and then hit with a beater, and he'll have to run back to his hoops. He's more of a keeper for Missouri anyway, so he doesn't mind being back there. But I'm sorry to interrupt. So you mentioned its origins are at Middlebury College, and from there it's really moved on and progressed. Yeah. Right, welcome back to the Quidditch match between Missouri and Webster. We're now joined by Missouri's president of Quidditch Association, Daniel Shapiro. Dan, what have you noticed so far in this game?
I really like to play for my team, but on the other hand, considering Webster has 5 people who've only played once before, they're doing very well. Like that was a good block right there.
Talk to us a little bit about the sport of Quidditch as a whole and sort of its spread through colleges.
It spread through colleges. It was founded at Middlebury College on the East Coast.
But more talk about.
What are you doing to expand the game?
It's a very tight-knit culture. Like, I mean, you have to find teams through communication. You have to schedule everything on your own. So there's lots of Facebook going on there. As for like the tight-knit culture, like there's gonna be a Quidditch convention and like everyone's dividing up in the regions, and most teams are beginning to know. Score Mizzou, by the way.
Score for Missouri, and that'll be.
And
so Dan, what's been the toughest challenge for you? You know, trying to recruit guys to.
Well, we just got organizational status yesterday.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, our biggest challenge is.
As a snitch is running across the field with city string in hand. Webster appears to be the closest seeker, but sorry, Daniel, continue.
That was Mizzou.
Oh, Missouri appears to be the closest seeker, excuse me.
No, it's okay. I know, it's confusing because they're gold, too.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of the confusing parts for you. Missouri in black, Webster in gold.
Yeah.
That might be confusing because Missouri, of course.
It'll be easier when we play Kansas next semester for you to distinguish.
So let me ask you about that Kansas rivalry. Do you guys feel sort of a rivalry there, or is it not really established?
Kansas? Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
Okay.
I want to play them again, and I want to beat them for what they did to us.
Right, now
so
it's
you guys lost both
1-2 against Kansas, so...
Well, that was basically our first week of, our first month of organized play that we played them. So we were a fairly new team, and it was really difficult. They had been well established. They had 50 players. So they had A teams, B teams, and C teams, while we were struggling to just keep fresh. It was a dirty match too. They'll acknowledge that there were lots of rough hits. We had a broken broom, Sarah's broom over there, the nice shiny one. Yeah, one of those got destroyed.
That's very sad. Now, how much does a normal broom like that cost? Because you see, there's a difference. Some people playing on broomsticks and mop sticks, and some are playing on actual
The Harry Potter-esque replica brooms are $35 to $70. They're supplied by Alvin's Broom Makers, who's in New York City.
Right.
I prefer playing with the Target brand broom, which is about $3. The keeper for Webster has my broom actually right now. He kind of put a nice bend into it yesterday.
I have to say, I'm really impressed. Both by the viewership, we have 20 plus people out here, watching families, people who've just gone to Buck's Ice Cream, stopping by. Gary Lawn, of course, a perfect place to play.
Beautiful weather outside here in Columbia, Missouri.
It's a beautiful day, absolutely beautiful day. He's streaking across the field. Webster the closest, Missouri in hand. He's shooting silly string at him. Now with silly string coming off his face, he's really being hurt from here. He's going to run right behind our booth. We get a nice shot of it here in a second. And there they are, ladies and gents, running behind as a goal for Missouri, making it now 50-10. Wow, this is a close match in hand. Like we said, this is an intense match. There's a lot of stuff to keep in track with. You have obviously your snitch and your seekers.
And you have the game going on over
And
there.
finally, Missouri will score. That's not 10, 20, 30 points for Missouri, making the score 80-10. Missouri wins again. After the last match was 90-20, so same margin of victory.
Yeah.
Missouri wins again. There will be 3 matches in this game, so 1 more coming up. And thank you for joining us. We'll take a quick break and be back. You know, you try to get through these goals, and I believe that's a score for Webster. That's Jake Dawson who gets it through the hoop, and he's popped up and fired up. And why shouldn't he be, you know? 10-20. They still have a very logical chance to win this. And a shot by Kevin Grebe, after a nice effort, will go through, making the score 30-10.
I think you look at it, the toughest thing for the Gorloks so far has been their passing, but just because I guess they have new players coming in. But it looks like Missouri's got that advantage over them significantly. That's why they have that lead, won the first 2 matches, and have the lead in the third as well.
One of the Missouri players we haven't talked about too much is Erin Miller. She's a sophomore beater. And obviously, as a beater, you're not going to get a ton of attention because you're not going to be scoring. As Colin Huster barely gets hit by a beater there.
Back on D, back on D!
But there's Erin Miller right here. And just barely misses the Webster player.
But she said she's got scared of the other beaters.
For Webster
coming
now,
after her.
30-20. But no, Erin Miller is a player who will sort of practice. She's one of the leaders of this team, I'd say. You know, as a beater, like we said, not going to get a lot of attention, not going to get a lot of points. But you are going to have a huge effort there. You know, if somebody's running down the field about to score on a huge advantage, all that separates them from scoring is one quaffle shot, or is one bludger shot, and that's her, you know. And so she plays a huge role. I would equate it to maybe a sweeper in soccer, you would say. You know, they have a keeper.
That last line of defense.
But she is one of those last lines of defense. So it's, plays a huge role for Missouri, if not a laudable one, as you would say. Burning his energy certainly before time. And McLaughlin almost with a shot, but Grebe comes up with a huge block. Oh, that's what you like to see in a match. Oh, they're not counting as a score, are they?
No. The rule in Quidditch is the ball has to go entirely through the hoop.
Mizzou has the snitch, and that's a huge cue for them.
Oh. I wonder where he came from, coming all the way from the corner.
But 30 points for Missouri. Final score will be 70-60. Wow. So
close
barely
one.
A win for Missouri, a 10-point difference. So Webster's struggling, but in the end, they barely lose.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Mahir?
It's tough. I mean, they gave a great effort, especially in that third match, after those trades. But the snitch, you see the impact of that. That ends the game, and Missouri was able to come away with it.
I think we were very strong defensively, and that's kind of where our core starts. We managed to make them take long shots, which are a little harder to take. We forced them to the outside, and that was good. And then we have enough speed at the chaser position that whenever they do fast breaks and stuff, it's really easy, especially for me or for Rivers playing keeper, whoever has the quaffle, just to make long passes downfield and get them in the spots.
Do you guys have set plays that you guys practice?
We have a couple of drills that we do that kind of rotate a little bit, but really there aren't a lot of set plays. People kind of know their positions. It's a little bit more like hockey on a break or something like that, where it's all about speed and kind of trying to find the open man and maybe getting someone behind the slot so that you can get people up front and open. It's very encouraging, especially after last semester whenever we played Kansas. They had upwards of at least 70 people that were watching, and it was popular there, and it is popular there. Kansas has one of the best teams in the Midwest, and we want to be able to match them quality for quality. We want to uphold the rivalry that's going to be disappearing, and 2, just because we know we can beat them, and we want that kind of popularity on campus. Well, right now I'm setting up, I'm trying to get a committee of people together that are going to figure out exactly what we do need to do to be taken more seriously and to get more popular. We've done a couple of recruiting events. We just got org status, I think, either yesterday or Thursday, so now we're going to be able to openly fundraise and stuff and hold stuff on campus where we are going to get more exposure, and I think that's the big key. That's a stepping stone to more things, and we're really excited to do that.
Well, thank you again for joining us for this match. As always, I'm William Joy, he's Mahir Bagot, and we hope you enjoy this broadcast of IQA's official Quidditch match between Missouri and Webster.